In this here flicker, Tin Cup meets up with a friend from the past, the aspiring chef Miss Cookie Wilde. The two time travelers reminisce about the 1890s, do a bit of gold panning, then kick up their heels in the always fun Dawson City.
Well, as I live and breathe, I thought that was your tip.
Goodness gracious, Cookie Wilde. Ah.
It's a true pleasure. How'd you find your way up here?
Oh, well, this calls to me up here, Cookie. This was where I was heading back in 97 and again in 98, and by gosh, it's a nice place now. Back then, it was not to use your last name in a bad way, but it was a wild and woolly place. But where you been?
Oh, I've been in Whitehorse. I've been in Skagway. I've just been exploring mostly. I'm actually writing a book now.
Wow, are you now?
Indeed, I'm writing a cookbook. I'm trying to find recipes from our time and compare them to recipes of this time.
Well, that's a fine idea. I'll add some stories to it, like my good friend Jack London. See, you got these days. You got places like this where they got folks coming in who are they call them tourists. So these tourists come in, and they're fine folks. They come in and they're kind of interested in what's going on, especially up here in Dawson. So you are still cooking. Now I remember on that last fateful ferry ride, that steamer ride we took. There were so many good things you made, that cordon bleu, and is that what you're doing? Are you going around and maybe?
Indeed.
Are you
from all over the world? It just has to follow the time. If there was something like that back in our time, there's something like that here now.
See, I like that sense of curiosity. I saw that with you before, and that's the way I'm looking around and meeting new people and seeing what things are like today compared to our time. Now they come from all over the place. Those tourists will come from all over the world.
Indeed.
And they're looking for what I say, Cookie, is the gold that they find now. Ain't this? And this is all well and good, you know,
yes.
But even when I came up here in 97 and 98, I was fortunate and I found some gold. But for me, looking back, what was more satisfying to me back then was the adventure that I found and the people that I met, like, you know, like Jack London and Percy DeWolf and you know, the king of the Klondike, Alex McDonald, and Martha Black, and the Barry,
Mr. Robert Service.
Oh, Bob Service, I don't know if you like him. I call him Bob Service.
No.
And you're right. And these folks come up here now, and the gold they find is the beauty. I mean, look at the slide up there, and the beautiful trees, and this river, and the stories that are still here, and the people, and the stories, and that's what for me was created the magic of this land. So now, Cookie, did you come here to do some cooking, or to learn about cooking? Or?
Indeed, I came up here looking for recipes from local businesses, maybe some household recipes for my cookbook, to gather stories and history.
You're gonna make some dishes.
I'm gonna get some recipes from them and try to learn how to make them.
Well, I tell you what, let old Tin Cup talk to these folks down here, and I bet you they'll make room for you in the kitchen, and you can make up a few of your dishes to go along with theirs, and so we can sample both. How's that sound?
That sounds wonderful.
Now let's come on, man. Let's walk on over and let's enjoy this old town of Dawson. My goodness, I love this place. Still as wonderful as it was.
Indeed. information on the restaurants.
It does. Look here. It makes me hungry when I look through this here menu book. It tells you all about all the different victuals at these places. You got Belinda's.
Oh.
Do you remember Belinda?
I remember vaguely, yes.
Big Al's, Bonanza Dining Room. There's some good ones in there. Now look over here. Old crates. These crates and those canned goods there. You know, one time I ate 4 cans of peaches in a sitting.
Wow.
And I was hungry and just got me, you know, some canned goods and figured they'd last me for a while, which they did. But those 4 cans of peaches went like that.
Indeed.
I got some high class shoes. It looks like some of your ladies' shoes.
Shoes.
So they do this so that people have a sense of what things were like in our time. Ain't that funny? And
That's
yet
strange, yes.
we know what things were like. And so all they need to do is talk to us.
Indeed.
Cookie, seems like we've went back in time. Feels like we've went back in to our time, doesn't it? Look at all these things here.
I recognize most of them, yeah.
And look here. Do you remember these here stereoscopic viewers? So
Remember them? I love them.
So look here. These days they got all kinds of newfangled technology, but these still work. Look at that. It's a deer. My goodness, look through there. It looks like it's a real deer.
Wow.
So you just take.
We're really there.
And you see, and there was a special camera that would take these here pictures from what you know, one time a fella took a picture of me and some other fellas doing some fishing, but I don't. Wouldn't that be funny to come upon that and look at this?
Indeed. These are just family.
Do you know that fella?
Can't say I do.
Now, look at all the. Now, see, this is the way. This is the way that you keep your victuals good. Right?
And I'm pretty sure.
Would you say better than these old plastic bags? You know, you got
Indeed.
fine
If you like
tin.
If you like
You know, critters getting in there. I'll tell you that much. You got La Paulina. See here, Cookie. Should we buy something? You want some bells? What about a roll? Do you need a roller? A good roller? This ain't one of those cheap plastic rollers. This here will get your dough rolled out so you can make some good biscuits.
Now this store is not just antiquities, Tin Cup. There's a lot more. This store is a combination of all of the modern antiquities that we can get and the old-time antiquities that we know and love.
Well, this looks authentic, Cookie, but the lacing and such. But what in the world's going on here? I think this is just for putting little curios up on top.
That or it's a Sasquatch shoe.
Well, I mean, I don't think Sasquatch could even fit that one. Jason Sanborn. Oh boy, that makes me thirsty for a cup of coffee right now. And look at that.
5
Boy,
cents.
have you seen how much things cost nowadays?
Oh
my
my
goodness.
Lord.
But a nickel buy a real good cup of coffee back in our day. And you'd make some good coffee?
Indeed. I would
What you got here?
have tons of combinations. I believe it's an old coffee tin or a toffee tin.
It's a candy tin. This is for sweet.
Oh, well, everyone
toffee.
loves something
Isn't
sweet.
that beautiful? Look at that.
That one must be.
That there's London, England on there.
Well, I do
What else?
believe that there's not much else here. Shall we mosey
Love
along?
that canoe. I think we should go see what else there is in this fine town.
again. We're time travelers. We're as strange as you can get. And yet, they treat us like we're family, don't they?
Indeed they do.
It's just a fine thing. So, would you say that folks should get up here to Dawson City and visit when they can? And
I agree wholeheartedly. You gotta get on up here.
let's tell those folks, you gotta get on up here. Seems like we've went back to our time here a bit.
In a way, Tin Cup. Why, it's been years since we've seen any of this, hasn't it? Or a few months at the very least.